Hey guys, Brandon here with RAVEK. Today we're going to be installing this Gen 3 wireless turn signal kit on this Polaris Ranger 1500. Let's get started. Our first step with this installation is going to be opening up the passenger door where you're going to access your battery compartment. By flipping up the seat here, your battery compartment is here. You have two little quarter turn push pins that needs to remove it, and you can go ahead and remove the negative and the positive battery cable. We're now going to remove the hood of this machine, simply taking and quarter turning your locks in the top, lifting it in the back, sliding it forward. Show you where we're going to install our horn. This horn can be installed right here, utilizing this small push pin. Inserting the push pin through the horn and reinserting it. It is important that you bend the horn up slightly so it does not make contact, as it will change the notes of it. We'll connect this at a later time.
Hey, Sean with RAVEK. Going to show you how to make your connections on your Speakeasy kit real quick here. I know we call a lot of that stuff out, but just wanted to show you firsthand. On your power connector, we're going to plug that in like that. I happen to have a ring terminal one. It might look a little bit different if you have a Polaris pulse bar connector that you need to put in there, but it connects the exact same way on the brain box. The switches or the lever are the same. So like this one says turn signal and this one says turn switch. We just plug those in together. Same with the horn hazard and the horn switch. Plug those in together. So that takes care of everything on the input. On the output side, we have your rear extension, your left turn, your right turn, and your horn. So for your rear extension, we won't be using that. For your right turn, what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and install it for your DIs and get that inside there. And then we're going to grab the right harness as well, which would be the front right. And then we're going to connect the short side to that and then run this out to your front light. Same thing with the left. Just make that connection real quick for you there. And then remember that short side out. And then with the horn, that's a very simple connection as well. So it says horn here and horn on that. We're just going to plug those together. Just keep in mind that these aren't polarity sensitive. So if you do have to flip them and unhook this at some point, it doesn't matter which way they plug into those.
Our next step is going to mount our RAVEK turn signal controller. That can be mounted right here on the very surface, or if you want a cleaner install, right against the back of the firewall, utilizing the 3M adhesive provided. We now have to take and select a pulse bar connection that will power our turn signal kit. We'll use this close one here. Simply installing it into place till it clicks. And you can power it up on the other end here. When you're doing that, you're going to want to think about the routing of your wires, that you can give it a cleanest look following the OEM wires around in order to complete your install. So this kit now comes with the apex lights with the bumper insert. We've already installed our clip nuts on the bottom of the 3 tabs. The nut is going to be on the outside of the machine. That way when you go through to bolt these into place, they will secure and tighten right up. Just give you a nice OEM look. That one. And again, there's 3 nuts. For video purpose, I'm just going to put the 2 on here. That. And make my connection. We're now into the cab where we're going to remove this dash panel. If your machine has ride command, you got your ride command unit up here. You may find that you may have to disconnect most or some of the area in order to gain access to the back of it. On this machine, there's a grommet that runs right behind this dash, right to the front of the machine, allowing easy access from the front to the rear, allowing that to come through. So what we have to do here is pull out on our bezel. Our bezel is clipped in by these plastic little keepers here. Be careful not to lose them. And you will then take your push pin pliers to remove the 4 push pins on the top and the bottom corners, removing your dash. So with the gauge cluster removed, we now need to just simply disconnect the gray keeper wire in the back, which we will install our gauge pins into. Our dash, split these apart like this. Take a screwdriver or a pick, and there's a little white tab on the inside of both of them. Hit that on the right and the left-hand side. Your plastic keeper comes off. Set that right there. And we're going to go in terminal 6 and 7. 6 is the right-hand side, 7 is the left-hand side. These are all numbered in the bottom. I wish I would remember my glasses today. 6 and 7, there are 2 little blue keepers in them. These keepers and protectors that fortunately just landed right on my hand are removed. And again, right goes into terminal 6, left hand into terminal 7. You hear a little click. I'll see if I can show you this next one. Coming to the bottom side, push them up into place. You can see it come through, and they actually do clip right nicely and tight. And we can now put our aligner back on it. It does only go on one way. That's it. So all of you that were concerned about pinning your dash, it's really not that hard. This here is where your grandma's coat hanger is going to come in handy, unless you have a true blue wire fish. So what we're going to do is push this fish through the grommet into the front of the machine, where we'll grab hold of the dash indicator wires and pull them through. We're now to the point of installing our lever. What I'm going to do here first is I'm going to just take the lever, install it in a location. I just want to look at where it's going to sit here. You can either go through and completely remove all the shrouds and drill this while it's off, or you can be very careful when marking and drilling these to not punch the drill too far past the plastic, and you'll be able to install this as well as the nuts right there. In order to do so, recommend utilizing some painter's tape, going around the outside of it here. And this is so we can mark once, drill once, and not have to worry about anything else. Go there, jump right here to the bottom. Again, this cuts off quite a bit of time just by having this like that. You can use the articulation of the steering wheel as well. That. Now we can take this. Again, we're going to line everything up, lock it in place in the bottom here, so everything fits nice and tight. You can see how it follows the curves and the contour of the steering wheel as well. Again, we're going to take and mark our holes. All right, so we've got everything lined up here where we want it. We're going to just take and mark a center spot in each of these holes. That allows us to center our drill bit and make a precision hole to drop our rubber nuts in. Again, you do not want to over drill this, so go very slow. We're using a brad point bit, you can see here, so it's self-centering. And again, you do not want to go very far past this because you do have your steering column underneath. But if you go slow, you'll have no issues. That's it. Simply remove the tape, and we can install our rubber nuts into it. And these expand here. When you tighten them, they expand. Crunch the rubber in, securing your lever to your steering. All right, now what's left? Now we've got a rubber bolts and nuts in there. I'm going to slide this into place like so, top and on the bottom. And that's going to allow me to take my 2.5 millimeter Allen screw. Just want to suck that rubber nut tight up to the inside and do it to the remaining 2 holes. Our final step is to be routing the connections up into the front of the machine through the firewall. We're going to utilize our trusty wire puller here, just coming in on the side, and pull them backwards through the grommet. Grab our wires. We're going to carefully feed them through the firewall, coming out here. And all that's left to do up here is we make our connections, which I'll show you right now. You have your horn switch, so horn to horn, turn to turn. All of the connections have been made now on the controller. except for the rear extension. The reason we're not using this rear extension is it wirelessly communicates to the front controller from the back controller, which we'll install now. We're in the back right-hand corner of the machine. We're ready to make our final connections. You'll need to remove the bolt here as well as here. These two bolts as well as these two to remove the tail light. This is where we'll make our final connection on the right-hand side.
Hey, Sean again. So I was going to show you real quick on how to actually hook up the Speakeasy kit onto your machine. So this is the rear harness for an HD11. So we're going to install this like normal, unplug the factory connectors, plug these into the factory connectors, and then run this guy up to the tail light like we normally do. But instead of that rear main extension coming and plugging into this 4-pin, we're going to take this wireless module and we're actually going to plug it into the 4-pin here. And then we're going to get power from the license plate, which is here. Now, if you plan to run a license plate light, or if you purchased one, there will be a separate harness here that'll run power out to your license plate for you.
So what I hold in my hand is our multi-pin that connects on the right-hand side frame rail that runs right directly into the OEM wire, as well as the wireless receiver. This is a prototype receiver, so yours will have a nice RAVEK covering on it. Just a heads up there. Pull this apart. And we're going to make our connection male into female. And the same here. That. So again, on this, you have your connectors, left apex, your right apex, as well as your license plate wire. Now, this kit does not come with a license plate. If you do want one, one is available separately. The other end of the wire here, you will have your connector that goes to the right-hand side. Again, right-hand side frame rail, right-hand side tail light. You'll want to work this along your OEM wiring here. We'll come back later and zip tie and clean it all up, of course. We go up in underneath the box side here. That's why we've taken the two bolts off in the bottom. And now that we've wired it back here, routed it back here, we simply need to pull the multi-pins alongside. And again, we're going to come through and tidy this all up later. We've disconnected the OEM light here. And that is it. The electrical portion of this is done. Let's go test it out. All right, guys, let's make the magic happen. We're going to test this baby out, make sure everything functions. Got our running lights, right turn signal, left turn signal, hazard, what we at RAVEK like to call the party mode. This is great for those of you that use your machinery around job sites or on the road, maybe plowing snow. And last but not least, we got our almighty horn. All right, let's test her out. Got our right turn, left turn, hazards. We got our party mode. And last but not least, we got our brake lights.